All right, you're good.
Okay, so we are calling this meeting to order at 5:03 p.m. Can we get a roll call?
Yes. All right, Lakeisha, let me know she wouldn't be here. Uzziah.
Present.
Jackie, let me know she wouldn't be here. Katie.
Here.
Sandy, let me know she wouldn't be here. Dee.
Here.
Justin. Dana.
Here.
Amber.
Here.
Great.
Okay, can I get a motion to approve the minutes from October's meeting?
Oh. Oh, are they not in? What's going on? What happened here? I'm sorry. It's like you have a few action and then it restarts. I'm so sorry. There's the minutes. I don't know what those pages were. I think the issue was I know what I did because I had to convert it 2 to 2 anyway. Here are the minutes.
Good motion?
Did you
Or
find anything?
I need to look at it
Oh,
first.
okay.
I just need a second.
Yeah.
Sorry about my poor organization.
I'm looking at the right one. Here we go. Okay, hang on a second. I make a motion that we accept the minutes from October meeting.
Can I get a second?
I second
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, or minutes are approved as submitted. And now we move on to the director's report.
Okay. October and November, we've kept pretty busy. Had an event at the Pride Center. It was really lovely. It was a event celebrating a it was you want to help me out there?
Sure. It was around the 47th anniversary of our place, which used to be an LGBTQ bar here in Terre Haute. They had drag shows and performances and celebrated the LGBTQ community. And we hosted a reunion to welcome back some of the performers and patrons, and had some speeches from AT, myself, Susie Dunning, and Ricky, who helped coordinate the event, just about kind of where we've been, where we are now, and then community members shared their lived experiences. And honestly, it was pretty solemn and heavy because it was also the opening of the bar was at the height of the AIDS epidemic as well. And so they talked about their experiences there, but it was very meaningful. We had a really great time to be able to connect with one another. And
it was a really lovely event, and getting to hear from I don't know if this is the appropriate term, but the elders in the LGBTQ plus community, and hear their stories, and especially like Terre Haute, you hear about San Francisco during the 80s and 90s, but it was neat to hear about our community. And then of course to get to share the Human Relations Commission, we're committed to continuing a community that is inclusive and unified, even in these times where communities like the LGBTQ plus community are being ostracized. So it was lovely. We should have another one next year. And y'all should come. But anyway, I was gone for a conference. I think I mentioned we received an award for the Free Transit Project, for innovative project for a community with a population greater than 58,000, which we just barely snuck in there. But it was nice to be recognized, and then attended a lot of sessions about I think the kind of consensus of the conference is that the Senate Enrolled Act 1 is really not good for local municipalities, that we're going to really feel some serious budget cuts, and that really, like, the property tax changes for people, it's going to be so minimal. Like, you're not really going to feel the like impact of this so-called relief, but a little bit of relief from you adds up to big cuts to local government. So that's kind of the thesis, or the like every session was like SEA 1 bad.
Let's another session about
yeah, and so I think they are proposing some legislation in the upcoming cycle, but like mayors and are kind of gathering, but it'll be challenging these next few years. We had our first MLK Planning Committee meeting. I'll share that in the committee reports. I think I've let you all know that the Lotus Center, which is the low barrier homeless shelter here, has asked me to serve on their advisory board. So we had a meeting. They're trying to get some strong policies in place, and so they're getting advice from this board to help approve things like it's not non-discrimination, but like harassment policies for residents of the shelter. But it's been interesting, and especially, it's been a really big asset to our community. Warming center, as you know, that has been something, Brandon has been kind of making the rounds. If you've paid attention to the news recently, he's been on there recently. We presented to the commissioners. A couple of days later, we presented to the city council, and then a few days after that, we presented to the county council with a plan to collectively fund a city designated warming center, or in this case, a city county. We've talked to Pathways Day Center, as they have acted primarily as the main and largest warming center in our community, about giving them a daily activation rate, if you will. Because previously it was like, here's a lump sum of money, we hope it helps, but it was always kind of reactive, and it was different every year. And so we were trying to build a model where it's something that they can count on. So when they open, exactly.
Yes.
And so originally, the city and the county were like, well, we could both maybe do about $12,000, which would be 10 days of activation at that $1,200. The commissioners in that meeting, Commissioner Schweitzer said, well, we should set aside more money. And so then, before we went to the city council and county council, we presented 3 additional options where we would fund for up to 20, 30, and 50 days combined total. So where we could potentially each set aside $30,000 to give. Now, they wouldn't get it in a lump sum, like I said, for each day that's activated. We have a meeting tomorrow with Pathways and the emergency management. We've kind of hit maybe a little bit of I just felt like maybe a little bit of a bump in the road, just some kind of concerns about the plan in general that we've put together. But what I really am hopeful about is the funding piece of this. The city, at least, is we're committed. We're going to probably do the 30,000. But we really want the county to come on board with that. And so I'm a little worried that emergency management is not as I don't know, and I don't want to speak for them, but that there may be, I don't know, not as convinced, and but we'll see how it goes tomorrow. And I've, been prepping Brandon's presentation at each of these. And to be clear, warming centers, they don't solve homelessness. They don't end it, but we have to do something. And we can't be well, we should do this, we really should have a bigger building, and we really should have, more showers. And it's well, I'm sorry, we can't do that right this second. We gotta, cause literally last Monday, that's where some of this stemmed from. Last Monday, it snowed. And it took me 30 minutes to get to work. And I mean, not that the roads are in Indy, but I'm certainly,
And when it gets
Yeah.
cold like that, like every homeless person, our numbers
Mhm.
shoot up with walk-ins.
Yeah.
And they suddenly have an addiction problem, they come in,
Yeah.
really, there's homeless, but
Yeah.
it's so cold. I said, as
Yeah.
it gets colder, they're gonna be looking to find
Yeah.
a place, so if we
And-
can do that, that would be great.
we don't see it just, like, oh, well, since it doesn't solve homelessness, it's not. We still see it, obviously, as an important service, because it also, homelessness does have an impact on city services, like, parks, then we have people there, and then we have abandoned building fires and fires departments going out, and then we have police, people are committing petty crime just to get into jail. Like, I know that's not every person, but like those things have happened in the past, and we think that this is a good proactive measure. But if you have questions about that or suggestions on generally how to end homelessness, we're ready to hear them because we're ready to, and we really want the county to be a partner in it. Anyway, kind of something else that we're working on, or I met with Jessica Starr, who's the director, or I don't know, of maybe the Office of Community Engagement for Indiana State, for a project for Martin Luther King Jr. Day, to do a day of service the morning of the actual holiday. So I'll talk about that a little bit later, but that meeting was really productive because I think we put in for a grant to help pay for some of the stuff. Anyway, another thing that popped up is the Arc of the Wabash Valley. I don't know if you're familiar. They help people with disabilities, variety of programs and services. But they've been working with a student group from Rose-Hulman to create a tactile bus map so that it's raised and you can go and you can feel the map. And then it also has an audio description. I think I told you, it's a little bit still in the homemade phase of its development, but I met with her and she told me about the project, and then I got to go meet some of the students a week after that, and that we got to see kind of the preliminary thing. But the cool thing was that I connected with the professor and the students. They're doing a wonderful job. They have another trimester of working on this in addition to finishing this one out. So hopefully by the end of this school year, we might have a tactile bus map for people, anyone, but mainly for, people who are visually impaired or have, blindness. But that professor, they are doing a new solar project where they're putting in a solar field, and they're going to sell the carbon credits from the solar field, and then that will create income for Rose-Hulman. But then they're going to take that money and they're going to pay for more of these types of projects for students to do community work, to do more reinvestment in the community. So
Excellent.
I know. I'm like, we have also now maybe an in.
Because all of our students I got to figure. I haven't started the job yet, but there's been a community impact projects that all the students have to do, and there's 40 per class, so 120 students. So that's good to know. Mm-hmm.
Hey, AP.
Yeah, Amber.
So I'm getting in the car with my boss, and she does the programs for the city of Livingston. And she was saying that out of the city of Livingston, EMA runs the
Their warming center.
Yeah. So that might be a resource for you. If they're looking for some kind of possibility of like, okay, who's done this? Because we obviously have, at least in Bloomington, when it comes time for that, we have our warming centers at the fire stations, and then where else, like some of the different shelters. I can't think of if there's anywhere else, but I know like, when we have them at the fire stations, they're generally like, people are not like in the like day rooms or anything like that. They're just kind of like in our lobby or something. So then it's like, okay, you can kind of come inside, get more, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, because they are open, firehouses are open 24 hours. It is a really neat way to use some potential, space that's not being utilized. I think that there is a future where, yeah, the city and county have a building that then gets turned into a warming center, and we work with like a Pathways where their team can just have it there like they used to do at St. Stephen's. But I don't think it'll happen this year. Like, number one, we don't have the building already. Number two, like a couple of buildings that have been like named, I'm like, might need a little work. And certainly not going to do that with the very limited funds we have. But I'm going to certainly look into that because I think that the city and county, like, being more than just the financial, could be the like location for it.
Right.
And then I did talk to Pastor Billy from the Bridge Church. Mm-hmm. And I mean, they're a religious entity, so they might not have to follow ADA or might have a religious component, but that's fine. And if people want to opt into that, but like, so we want to make sure there's multiple options out there is what I'm trying to say. But they did acquire a new building, and they're going to have 50 beds available for warming, with 6 showers, 2 bathrooms, and a full industrial kitchen. So, for those who, are.
Is it going to be a standard home shelter?
No, it'll be a warming center. Yeah, but they'll continue to do their nightly meals, and I think that they'll do it out of there. So good that there's lots of compassion in our community. We had the NAACP Freedom Fund dinner on, was it Saturday? Okay. Mm-hmm. I'm like, was it Friday or is that Saturday? On the 15th. It was really lovely. The speaker was excellent. AJ Patton. I know that Jackie said he was a student of hers. And then I had a meeting with the mayor about, because I don't know, it was about the United Campus Ministries. We presented to the United Campus Ministries about how to have civil conversations across political divides. It was a nice, like, hour and a half long talk that we did, and had questions at the end about what that, civil conversations at the local level, and especially compared to the national level, it can be sometimes easier because you actually know the people. And then we had our Black History Month banner committee last night, and I'll share a little bit more in a bit about that. I didn't have any inquiries this month regarding discrimination complaints, just no calls about that. Still get calls about HR. I should start retallying those, even though they've fixed the website, so we're not next to each other anymore. Still get calls. We're still working with the ISU PhD class. We have on December, it's on the upcoming thing, on December 5th, I can send this out, but they will do a final presentation of that project about the Neighborhood Equity Investment Fund. Warming Center, talked a little bit about that. And then the broader task force, we originally were saying like November, and November is here. And we are not even, we're not close to being done with really, like, I thought, we'll just get the warming centers launched. And then in my graduate school class, I've been reading these papers about like public policy failures and how, like, what a big failure is that, like, they neglect to like do anything to actually implement the public policy that they suggest. And so I'm like, okay, glad that I've read this, and like, we cannot be a failure and just say, here's a plan, and then not be a part of the implementation. So that'll probably honestly get pushed to next year, the task force. But I mean, we're still going to be thinking about how to end homelessness in the meantime, but like the warming center takes precedent. Which we do have a meeting tomorrow, like I said, presentation from from Dr. Mary's class. And then on Thanksgiving, we're closed, the City Hall is closed on Thursday and Friday, which is very generous. But of course, if you need me, you can text me on my phone. I'll be in Terre Haute. And then we have our budget updates, which I want to talk about specifically, maybe kind of transferring some money around to potentially do some end of year purchases. But we have about $3,200 left in civic promotions. We're going to do, I think I can say, we've selected 9 people total for the banners, and they are they're like around $80 a piece. So 9 times 8 is 72. So $720 of that will for sure go towards paying for the banners. But other than that, I don't have like one specific thing in mind for that.
For the rest?
For the civic promotions, yeah.
Gotcha. I was gonna say, I'm sorry, you're
No, you're good.
I know we talked about the June banners.
Mm-hmm.
So if you needed, I wonder if we
could order them all at once.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We've talked about maybe doing other banners for other heritage and months. We talked about doing for June for Pride Month, not necessarily doing people like we do for the Black History Month banners, but just having a general
The pride flag everywhere.
a pride flag, the same size, but it's just a skinny version of that. And maybe not do 30, but do 10 or 15 that are just in that area. We can talk them. Yeah. I don't have anything else on this report. We are going to talk about in the very last thing, end of year purchases, the like business items. So if you want to set those 2 things so you can reference them later, we'll use them. But we'll accept that into the minutes. Is that right? So you'll just have to ask for a motion to accept the report.
So can I have a motion to accept the report?
I make a motion to accept the director's report.
Second,
Second.
all in favor, accept the report as it was presented.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Okay. As I said, we met last night. It's a good meeting. There were 30 people, 43 nominations. So some people were nominated more than once. And the committee it was hard because, you're always like, well, don't want this person. Should we keep going? But we said last year we did 11 from the committee plus 1 mayor's choice, 12 total. And that was to try to make up for lost time. And so we were kind of stuck between, do we do 7, 8, 9, and, generous group of people. It ended up being 9. I'm happy to share that it was a really great group of people, but I don't think I can say it on the record here because it's still a secret.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to announce publicly on December 15th.
Great.
I'm really pleased. It'll be good. And so I'm going to get those made and sent to ACE. We are then going to have the banner ceremony. What?
When do they get more?
So that we were having that conversation. There's only 2 people who are living. And so I think we'll let them know in advance, and then the rest of them will let their families know in advance.
In advance of December
15th, correct. Because we also want to get their review of the picture that was submitted and the what's on the banner. Yeah. But we have lots of time this year compared to last year I think we saw fewer nominations compared to last year, about 10 fewer. So I don't know if that was because it was earlier, but I think we had a big showing from our faith community. There were several pastors, other church elders, I guess you could say, sports people, war heroes, community leaders, teachers, doctors. It was people that, and that's one thing we always struggle is people who maybe just grew up here, people who, were here for just, college. And so that those kinds of things do factor in. So I think it's 9 people who have a really deep connection to Terre Haute. Yeah. Oh, and definitely like lots of industry represented and yeah.
Nice.
I don't have anything else on that. And then questions, comments, concerns.
Well done.
Yeah. Wait. Okay, yeah. Well, then we'll rush through as I'm vegan now. Yeah. I think you'll be pleased. Then MLK Day. So we had a meeting on Monday, October 20th, and we had representation from ISU, Rose-Hulman, and St. Mary of the Woods on the call. The NAACP, Sylvester was on the call. Susie from the History Center was also on the call. So since then, Sumalayo from ISU asked about the panel and said, are we dead set on having it on Martin Luther King Jr. Day? And I said, well, obviously we're open to anything. And she said that the ISU is a bigger space, like the Sycamore Banquet Center, for example, it's a bigger space, but they don't do any events on the day of. So if we wanted to do it at ISU, it would have to be the week before. And so she's been reaching out to some people about Thursday, January 15th. But there's costs involved, and I don't know if they would cover that. So it still needs to kind of be a conversation. But I do want to open it up to this group. Like, what do you all think about, part of me is like, yeah, I do like having it on the day. Like, I think there's something really important about the city doing something on that day. But like if space is takes precedent over that, I'm open to that conversation. But I just heard 2 yeses.
I feel strongly that it should be on that day.
Okay.
I think you will hear a lot of comments if it's not.
Okay.
If the city does not recognize that day
Mm-hmm.
on that day.
No,
Yeah, fair. We get a lot of questions about even Pride Fest being in September. So
September,
well,
yeah.
and now in October next year. So
Yeah.
it's nice to have things in Terre Haute that are on the day, I think. But
Mm-hmm.
I understand where they're coming from, though. If you're using their facilities, especially if they're co-partnering and can get it for free, that'd be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But
So I guess
we get a bunch of students
Yeah.
to come the week before and then do our normal.
I don't understand. They just ISU wants us there because why? I'm not
They did one
understanding.
last year. They did a
Right.
panel. And so I had approached the universities about collaborating, let's do one big city collective. So there's not the 2 because that was one thing was Candace Hinton, for example, was on both panels. And so they're like, oh, I'm coming to see you, Candace. And then they were like, I don't know, whatever, like, oh, I thought it was supposed to be this one, or I thought it, and so it did create a little bit of confusion. And not that that's a reason to not do something or to change, confusion can be corrected by better communication. But this was just a way of trying to, do together and not, bridge a divide.
Are they still doing their activities?
Which activities?
Like the MLK activities there? So is the goal to?
I don't know
this
if
is the
that's
activity, or-
I guess I didn't. I didn't really read into it that way.
Okay.
And maybe I should have that, like, oh, do they need it to be the city's thing here at ISU for it to
Yeah.
proceed? Because the ISU Cultural Center can't do it.
Right. That's my question.
Wondering.
Yeah.
And I don't know the answer.
Yeah. Because then I understand. Then
What
I get
I
it, but
mean,
I'm
yeah, I mean, but I feel comfortable going back and saying, you know, the city and the Human Relations Commission feel passionate that we want to have it on that day, and like we invite you to remain as a partner. Since ISU won't be available, we're gonna go with the History Center like we've done previously.
Yeah, maybe we change it up where it's not, they can do the panel thing, then maybe we do something different.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely.
Or something, or
A keynote, one speaker.
I felt like it was very energizing to have it on the day last year too. It just there was just something about that whole weekend and day. It was very good.
Right, yeah, we're actually signifying that this day is service, this day is honoring him, this day is, you know. So you wake up and look for this meeting day, so it actually has meaning versus Labor Day and Memorial Day, which is all totally lost their meaning.
Yeah.
It's just a holiday.
Yeah, I do think, it's like, it is a little bit of like, oh, well, we're too busy because that's our day off.
Right,
and so we have to
exactly.
move it to before. Does that say? Like, no, certainly, like, it does invite a raised eyebrow. So I'm going to just come back and say if that's a consensus of this group. Are you all okay with the history? So, I mean, they are always a great partner and number one. And financially, it is extremely affordable.
Was there enough space though?
We were full, but yeah, we were. I think there were open chairs, but like I mean,
It was more open this year than the previous year. Previous year was packed.
mm-hmm. That one, I want to say all like that one. It was a little bit because the mayor was on it and he had just been elected. I think that helped us a little bit, and so I don't know if some of it waned or if maybe we just didn't have truly mean no offense, but maybe not as an enticing of a panel.
Sure.
So maybe we do need to change it up. Might be Mike, he's here. And we could do like a keynote, I also think, like, for example, at the NAACP dinner, they always have someone sing. They had a really good closing singer this year. And when I used to do this State of Indiana's MLK program, we had a group from one of the high schools. They came and sang. And so there was like a nice, cool to have like some sort of performing aspect. But I think somebody had also one time shared it, and maybe it was you that shared about somebody else's criticism of like, performing. Do you know what I'm going to say?
Yes.
That it shouldn't be a performance for white people, you know,
absolutely.
We're not trying to, and so we just have to, whatever we do, we just have to be thoughtful, be intentional, and not be, creating a,
like perpetuating historical
exactly
exploitation.
But there was a really good singer at the NAACP dinner who, if he's free, love to have an event upcoming soon.
Well, I think it also depends on what they're singing.
Yes. Yeah.
So I think that makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're, singing something that's in the top 10, that's probably inappropriate.
Yeah. But I think previously at when I did it with the state, they always did the Black National Anthem, and then they did 2 gospel songs that were, or maybe one gospel song and one that was something that had come from the civil rights movement. It may have, I don't think it was We Shall Overcome though, but anyway. The next thing is a day of service. Now, Go ahead.
Because we're still on MLK.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So on MLK Day, we would also, from the ISU project last summer, one of the pieces that the ISU students said was that from their focus groups and stakeholder conversations is that there are people who want to see there be a true day of service on MLK Day, and there hasn't been. Now, at our committee meeting, we did get one piece of like comment, a good piece of, why is it that like Martin Luther King Jr. Day has to be the day where we work? It's like, why is the day on? It's not a day off, it's a day on mentality, really just trying to perpetuate like, that we need to like work. I don't know. So we got that, but because it was something that was from the ISU class and Lakeisha, who was in that group and is on our committee, I just really want to value that. And I think we should try. And if it's a terrible idea, we don't redo it. But thank you, Katie, has reached out to St. Stephen's Episcopal Church, which is where Manna from 7 operates, to be our site where we can create these winter, I don't know if survival is the right word, but like winter kits is what I'm calling them. Hygiene products, socks, gloves, all in a backpack, maybe a blanket of some small food items that we would then distribute on January 28th during the point in time count, where they count how many people are experiencing homelessness. So I talked to the Homeless Coalition about this, and just having read Dr. King's book last year, Where Do We Go From Here? Chaos, Our Community. I mean, he said like the 3 greatest evils are like racism, poverty, and like, I don't remember what the third one was, probably like capitalism or something, but but anyway, he was poverty was like just as great of an evil as, and I'm like, I think that like in my head, this is how I see like the day of service is about trying to live out the legacy of like, we must lift up our neighbors, those who are without. We should anyway. We've applied for 2 grants. One I did hear back about, the $1,000 one, and we did not get that. But there was a $2,500 grant that Jessica Starr from ISU's community engagement put in for us to support the purchase of things like hygiene products, backpacks, small food items. Now, the $2,500, it wasn't a matching grant per se, but we do have to put up some of our own funds. So I did say I didn't have any in plans, which I guess was kind of a lie. We could use some of these monies in the civic promotions to pay for some of the supplies. What I think I would like to know from this group is how much do you think how much would you all feel comfortable with? If you want me to like send you more precise numbers, I can, but
Was the grant from Community Foundation?
no, it's through a national day of service. It's like, let me see, it's like community. I know it pops up on the first page if you campus grant.
And how much what percentage do they want us to match?
I talked about $500, and
They don't ask for a percentage of the.
it just or that's what I told Jessica, and Jessica was like 500's great. So they might be putting something forward. It might be this one, this like, it's something like, Community Campus Coalition, I think that's what it was. But because it's like something with AmeriCorps. They did it for 9/11, and then there's another one for MLK Day. But that's that was what it was. Mm-hmm.
You just don't know whether we get it or not? Or?
Yeah, we haven't heard back. But I mean,
we need to make that decision now, or
it'd be great to have some idea,
Yes,
of like,
$500.
or if we
It's
wanted,
3,000, If you're gonna do 280 kids, 250 kids, so that's
Mhm.
like $10 a kid, right?
Mhm.
For 2,500,
yeah,
it's gonna take more than $10
yeah,
to get that.
yeah.
Like you just mentioned. But there's some places, some of the churches will donate.
Maryland Community Church, they have a potential grant, something that
Yeah,
I just
that's-
heard about this afternoon as well.
Or even just going to them and saying, we're doing this, and here's what we need, they'll
Yes,
drive.
exactly,
People bring blankets
yes.
and backpacks and.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question
Yes.
related? Is that location good for folks with Manna from 7? So it's, I actually haven't been present and I don't know where it's located. We've worked with Manna from 7. They've helped donate items to our hygiene closet for the Pride Center, but I only know the one volunteer who runs the van back and forth. So I haven't worked with them much outside that, but they did offer their gymnasium, table, chairs, and their van. So if we're buying products, the van can come pick it up, they can take it there, and then once we're done, they can take it to like the police station or wherever the items need dropped off. But I didn't know, like, if that's a good option, if folks are good with that and comfortable with that, or
To share where it is, St. Stephen's Church, it's on 7th Street, right? It's like there's a bunch of churches right in a row across from like Tilson Auditorium is like to the, what would that be? The south? North, that'd be the west. I know, I'm terrible.
can't do that.
But it's like St. Stephen's, and it's the one that kind of has like a courtyard right in front. Okay.
I don't know much about them,
We've worked there for a long time.
That is where the warming center used to be, was in their gym, which I don't totally know where the gym is, but obviously we will. I've been in Manna from 7 before, because this is the alley where you like go down and you pick up the food from Manna. I've been there.
Is this an integrated congregation?
That's one of my questions.
Because
That
I
I
think that's
don't,
gonna be important for that day.
yeah, I don't know enough about this church to know that. So that's one of my, I'm glad you asked that.
Episcopalian? Is it Episcopalian?
Mm-hmm. Here's a picture.
yeah.
Hmm.
No.
I mean, it doesn't look particularly.
Oh, I know too. Out there, but not the most racially diverse from a glance.
From that one photo.
But, and that's also kind of my putting feelers out about comfort, is that for Martin Luther King Day,
Yeah.
if we're
No,
doing a
absolutely. I mean, it's like
predominantly
the-
white church, does
No, it's a great question.
that feels weird possibly, or insensitive also.
Yeah.
I know Manna from 7, I don't know.
Let's think about that.
Yeah. I don't know.
If they would partner with another church, I would be comfortable with it. I think that would be a good idea.
Yeah. And maybe they could
Well, I
share
don't know what
supplies.
I don't know what a partnership would look like, but it would look more unified,
Yes.
community,
Yes.
unified activity.
Yeah.
Say something. You
I'm
wanna say something?
just trying to see how that would work, like if they could partner with them.
I don't know either, I'm just throwing
Physically,
something
I
out.
think Manna from 7, if they're willing for us to use the truck and supplies, they already have hygiene kits, but we'd be adding more. But I think if there were supplies that we need taken, they could probably still let us use the van.
The other thing, it doesn't have to be there.
Yeah,
Period.
absolutely.
I mean, we can.
Because if we
We
have
can
the
do it
supplies,
at-
we can go anywhere.
The Booker T. Washington, we could ask about using their gym. We could talk. I mean, that's, a neutral. Certainly not has no religious component.
I don't mind a religious component.
Martin Luther King Jr. He was
Right,
religious.
exactly. I just think maybe
Well,
Yeah.
and
No.
there's also United Campus Ministries. If we're trying to work with the universities from the panel, it's right there and it's open to all the colleges. It's not just the ISU one. They've got, but I don't know enough about them, but I'm just thinking proximity.
Well, I did just speak to them,
Because this
and
is, oh, sorry.
again, I think that Dee's point of we need to probably partner or,
So maybe we revisit location, because it sounds like we can create supplies. We have a way of accessing those and might not need them from. Mail.
yeah. I mean, the thing is,
So-
we can just buy
So we
stuff.
need a different space, is that what we're saying?
I don't know if we're saying, I think we're still talking
Okay.
space or what would a partnership with another
What
church
does it
look
look
like?
like?
Yes.
So you said they're providing some of the,
So Manna from 7 has they have they get like boxes of CVS, I think it's CVS or Walgreens. It's one of the two, just like overstock stuff. It's not necessarily all uniform. It's really all, and it's like literally it's like some guy took the shelf and just like shoved it in a box. I've gone through these boxes. It's a little bit of organized chaos. But in that respect, I was like, oh, well, I mean, if they're offering some stuff, maybe we at least consider this. I mean, I actually have not called back and said, we would love to have it here. So it's all in the prelim phase, but I wanted to present that as an option to this group.
So would a partnership be that we would approach another church and ask them for something specific and some volunteers?
or we,
Mhm.
or, because we're both connected with the churches here, the black churches here.
Mhm.
We could see if we could get some volunteers and some supplies from the churches around here.
Yeah.
We could do something like that.
Because really, we just need a space and maybe like
Yeah.
5 to 10 tables.
Yeah. So I
Just
think,
for stations. And
yeah, I think a couple of things I'm thinking. We could do a letter. We first write this to the church. I mean, I could send it out next week. Confirm St. Stephen's as the space and say, would you be willing to have a collection container at your church? And we have containers that we used from the diaper drive that I can drop off at churches and just like call me. We'll get you. Also, if your congregation would be interested in volunteering, one of the stipulations for that $2,500 grant is that we do have to have at least 100, so 101 volunteers. But I think we can. No, but we.
I did not know that.
No, it's okay. I think that'll be easier than.
Okay.
I really do, because the ISU students, they have to do volunteer work, and so I think we'll get students.
Well,
And
that's
then-
why the location makes sense.
Right.
Yes.
Then they can just walk down there.
Yes.
Students can just walk to St. Stephen's. Right?
Yes.
Off campus.
But I
And then
think
if
that.
we get some other churches involved.
Yes. But I think the other thing is people from the Homeless Coalition are going to come. And like, that's 20 people there. My mom and dad, I'll get them to come. I think that 100 actually will be pretty manageable. And I'm like, my goal is 101. And if as long as we get that, I'll feel good. Tara, I know. But
Oh my God.
Yeah.
We could buy someone for you next time. What are
Absolutely.
they doing that day? They should go do service.
Sounds good. There we go.
When do you start your job?
December 1st, so we'll be getting students over. We'll bless some of those students.
And that was the other thing, was the ISU and St. Mary of the Woods on the call. They're like, oh yeah, our students would love to come.
Okay.
That's kind of why I was
We'll
like,
make
I'm like, but I guess I do kind of need to get going with this.
Oh, we've got funding. But that might be.
Well, the other thing, yeah.
I can't offer everybody yet, but
The other
see what
thing,
I can do.
I know that I'm like, we don't really have the money to do this, but I was like, it'd be so cool if we had T-shirts for our volunteers that like said MLK Days of Service and said like Human Relations Commission on it somewhere. But
So when will we know if we
get that $2,500.
When will?
I think we should know within the next like 2 weeks.
Okay.
If we don't get it, yeah, it will make this a lot harder.
Well,
Because there won't be that kind of stipulation on it.
Yeah.
So I should just call Beth and ask if they have money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Or like at the foundation?
Yeah.
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 Okay.
I-
I'll call
But this is our project.
Dorothy too.
When would we have
Oh,
to have
yeah,
it in? I mean, they do, that's what they do.
Yeah,
They do
okay.
that. They will talk through it with you to see if it's viable and blah, 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 blah.
Mm-hmm.
And
United Way as well.
Okay.
They have money set aside.
And when I start my job, I'll see what I can do.
Right.
I would imagine there's
oh, yeah.
something.
I'm also like, could I call Terre Haute Savings Bank and ask them if they would
could always be
donate
sponsors, yeah, because if
100 backpacks or
maybe we
something?
do that on the put them on the shirt,
Mm-hmm.
black and white logo though.
Oh yeah,
Otherwise, the color.
one
costs.
color,
Yeah.
one ink color.
ink.
We get-
Oh, yeah.
Sorry guys.
Get a sponsor. That'd be great.
Um,
Get some PR for human relations.
Talk to, NSBE, National Society of
Oh
Blind
yes,
Engineers.
yeah, we'll get them connected for sure. Because I know, and Mercedes is on the call too, and I know she oversees them as well, so we can tag team. We can,
Yeah.
Make sure that we get good representation.
When I work there.
Oh, that's awesome.
I mean, I think the pressure is just on for me to just move,
Get her done.
get it done. So I was going to kind of repeat back so the space, do we feel okay with St. Stephen's if we do this outreach specifically to our church community that we reached out to for the banners? And I can put in there like something to share at the like upcoming church service, but then also put in there if they want to like partner in some other way to just reach out. Okay.
So you're gonna do letters to the churches?
Yes.
I was saying, because we could get.
And I'll get a
churches as
flyer together
sponsors
soon.
too, and put their names on things, and I almost wonder. But never mind. I don't know what the inside of this space looks like. I was just saying.
Well, maybe we could set up a
Resource
time to
fair.
go.
Bring the churches so they can table, so anybody who's a sponsor can
Yeah.
connect with, or you know what I mean. So if they've
Mhm.
donated or I don't know, have partnered in some way, they have an opportunity to build relationships with the folks that they're also serving. Or
Mhm.
I don't know. I just want to make sure it's not like what you were saying. Also, does it send a weird message of doing it at a predominantly white church without
Mhm.
meaningful connection to the Black community as well? So,
Mhm.
because that could be.
Well, if we don't get partnerships, it will be awkward.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm not as involved in like any of the faith community in Terre Haute, so I don't know even adjacently what's close to downtown or
How are you
Yeah, I know-
feeling?
I know
How do you feel about your church? Will they?
say, do you have a open space?
No, we're too
I didn't mean
small.
space.
But I think they would be willing to partner in some type of way. And we have the district, so there's 4 of our churches that are connected. So I can talk to the moderator of the district to see if he wants to come along to bring all the churches and see. So I can talk to him about that.
Yeah. That'd be really awesome. It'd be from 9 a.m. to 12
Okay.
that day.
And when do we think we need our deadline to know for sure?
Realistically, we should be getting this word out December 15th, 4 weeks before, getting people to volunteer. Hopefully sooner. I think December 15th is a Monday, but to kind of put the word out
Do you,
I mean, it is a little bit tough because students are starting to go home already, but.
I know I haven't started yet, but
Mm-hmm.
if you would like the email of the person who could make a decision before I'm there,
Mm-hmm.
it's lemon, like the fruit, the
Mhm.
citrus,
You think your church would be?
at
Your church would be
rose-lemon.edu.
Wait, that
Lemon
at Rose.
Oh,
Okay.
at
I can
rose-lemon.
know by tomorrow for sure.
She's with the Noblet Scholars, and I bet could
Okay.
probably go ahead. 'Cause they told me I'm not before.
Okay. Yeah.
There's space.
But then, as soon as I start, we can jump in and just.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, 100 people's a lot.
Yeah, we don't have that kind of space.
Does
Because I was-
St. Stephen's have that kind of space? Do they know it's 100 people?
We can.
When they said it was a gym, I guess
Yeah,
I
it's a gym.
assumed it was a gym. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Okay.
I made an assumption there, so I guess I don't know. I just assumed a gym. I guess I should not like a fitness center gym, like a gym.
Yeah, you need a gym, like a basketball gym.
Let me see.
Let me, yeah.
Because Shiloh has a space too. They have that fellowship hall at Shiloh, and I don't know if you can put 100 people in there either.
And maybe not all at one time. They'll probably people might filter through, but if they bust students out, I would imagine that would.
That one thing was, yeah,
Is parking an issue at this location? I don't know.
There's
yeah,
So you.
better parking, because if it's that Monday, the parking garage, it's right next to the parking garage, and then the cultural center. The African American Cultural Center parking is also open on that Monday. It'll be right there. And the parking right next to the president's office is right near there as well. So there should be a few open parking lots and garages if this location, but if we choose elsewhere.
I could also ask about the Booker T. Washington Center. They have a gym. It definitely fits 100 people.
Yeah, definitely. That one definitely.
Oh, that one will hold everybody for sure. And
I mean,
again,
I'd still do the same thing, send out like a letter to
Yes.
our
Yeah.
church
Yes,
community.
regardless.
and
Would they
we can
talk-
use I'm so sorry, go ahead. The Man from Seven van, if we were using their supplies, they said they could still take them wherever, so.
That was gonna be my question.
Okay.
If we had a different location, would they still partner?
I
Be a
think
partner?
probably,
That's just I gotta ask.
I think they'd be okay with it, but I also am making something about people I just talk on the phone with for 10 minutes, so. But they've donated some stuff to the Pride Center, and we don't even ask, they just bring it by, so.
Yeah.
We got some interesting stuff from them too. That'll be an off the record.
Okay. Okay. I was like, oh, okay. You want to share more? No, the one time I was sorting through for them, it was like there were boxes of like medicine, but then the next box was like St. Patrick's Day decorations. And I was like, what am I going through? Okay. I have some work tomorrow to do.
If you need help, let me know. I'm out of town this next week, but
Okay.
especially starting the 1st, I can officially.
Are you
jump in.
here tomorrow and Friday?
Tomorrow I'm around before, I leave at around 3:30.
Okay. Yeah. Maybe I can call you guys and we can chat about. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll have my computer all next week, so it's whatever.
Okay. I think the actual like the other thing that I'm like not terribly stressed about is like the actual task that people are doing. It's one thing. It's like I'm putting these things into a backpack. And so like it's not like, oh, I need to come up with 100 different projects for people to do. So that part
Put it in the bag.
is not stressing me out. And it might not last until noon. I mean, we gotta have an in time for the project. And the other thing is I was like, I won't even unbox anything because if
Yeah,
we've got 100 people
volunteers do
and
it.
it's 250. I'm like, we'll just
The volunteers can also bring it inside the building.
exactly.
Leave it in the
Yeah.
parking lot.
Anyway, those were all things that because I've done the day of service where I've had to come up with little projects from everyone to do, and that's hard. And then finally, the only other like MLK, so I haven't approached like the library about the kids program that we did. I don't know if we want to do that. The people on the call that we had, that wasn't something that like, I don't think that maybe that group particularly, if we want to do that again, we can. We can also find a different youth opportunity, which I'll bring up later.
That one didn't have a big turnout.
Yeah.
No, it was
It
a
did
good
not.
idea.
Yeah, but it just wasn't.
Yeah.
Like a lot of kids.
But the book club, I know that, I mean, the people who did it really loved it. And so it doesn't take a lot of work on my end because Anne really does most of that. So I'm happy to keep being a part of that. But we just haven't picked a book. She's like, I think we should not do Martin Luther King Jr. because I think we should like use a contemporary scholar who's like building on, you know, that type of work. Or no, I don't know if it has to be a scholar, but like, you know, a contemporary writer. So we have one book that I was like, you should read this book. And she did. And she's like, oh, maybe we could do that. But we still haven't made a decision on that. It's called How the Word is Passed by Clint Smith. It's like a reckoning with, what is it? It has a subtitle. It's a beautiful book if you've not read it. What is it? The Reckoning with the History of Slavery Across America. It's an excellent. He's so poetic. Truly incredible writer. But I don't know if it's the right book for this book club. Last year it was just like I felt like we had the right. It was just perfect. Anyway, we're still thinking.
So you said you did read it?
I did, yeah.
And your thoughts on it for
I think
the club?
I think everyone who reads it, their lives they will see the world differently, and they'll think, gosh, we really need to, as a society, talk more. Yeah, talk more and acknowledge the impact that slavery had on our country and continues to have today, and that like we as a society do not address, we just have not addressed. Like, for example, Germany has addressed the Holocaust, that they, you know, it is illegal to be anti-Semitic there and like to be a Nazi, and like in the US, like Confederate flags are proudly flown, and there is just absolutely not. And he explains that the way is it was, I mean, he doesn't say it this way, but it was an extremely successful marketing from the South that they were able to rebrand what the Civil War was about. And he does it through he visited 6 different places in the United States. He went to Monticello. He went to the Angola prison in Louisiana. He went to the site like in Galveston where Juneteenth like originated, where at the home where the announcement was made. And then I can't remember, but each of these places he talks to people. He has real recording, or like he recorded like conversations he had, and it's like explain, you know, like one like conversation I remember was like with somebody who was white and they were a Confederate had Confederate ancestry, and that like he was like not accusing them of like, oh, you have, you know, just like these terrible intentions, like you're like a very you know, you're waving the flag, kind of, you know, a proud white supremacist, but rather he, you know, just like generation after generation had been told, oh yes, like he fought in a war and to protect our family, and like yes, and it was like that is harmful, but like because, you know, generation after generation, how the word is passed, like we don't know. Yeah, and it is, yeah, it was, yeah, and obviously he did a much better job of describing all of this than I did. But he literally is a poet. Like that is his other thing that he writes is poetry. So it's also just a beautifully written book. It's a little long. It's a little long.
Storytelling. And
Yeah.
It was the number one. It was New York Times bestseller.
Yeah. So
2021.
I don't know. It's something to think about. Dr. Mary actually is reading it right now. I gave it to her a while back. She said, I'm reading the book. And I was like, I thought maybe doing that for the book club. But anyway, I'll kind of let you know where we're at. If you have something that you're like, we have to read this, just,
So
pass
the
it on.
options that were on that survey.
That was one of them.
Figured that out.
No, those are other ones we're still looking at. I shared that with Anne and I'm like, what are your thoughts? And a couple people voted for that one. But we only had 5 people respond to it. So yeah. Yeah. All right. Speaking of ISU, so Human Rights Day. It was a program that had been originated by some local community members, and then ISU has been operating it for the last, 10, 15 years. It brings together like high school students. They have sessions where like there's a keynote in the morning and then there's breakout sessions where, you can pick one of 3 or 4 different sessions. Then you go to another one, pick 3 or 4, come back and eat lunch. And then after lunch, go back and same thing. Kind of like a conference, but it's mostly high school students and some ISU students. Theme, human rights. So ISU is no longer going to be the host of this. They
were told they do it.
I would venture to say that they are afraid of backlash. Now, if you asked me, I'm like, human rights are not like
political, but they are.
Like, yeah. But I mean, I just want to be like, so can we, like, would somebody want a Men's Rights Day? Could they do that? Like, that one would be allowed. And I think that
Who's doing it? What department? What? Like, who put it on? That's a big.
the Center for Community Engagement.
Oh, it wasn't the Center for Community Engagement.
Which had evolved over time, because I think it's actually been there for like 20 plus. Because
has it been 20? I know it's been going on.
It was huge,
but I didn't.
When I was an undergrad, and that was 2012. And I think my mom used to take me to it when I was a kid. Like, I think they've been doing it since the early 2000s at least. So, if not before, I think that's when I saw.
Well, I know like Linda Lambert, like when she was a high school teacher, her Amnesty International group, they would go, or she was maybe a part of the original group.
And it used to have more campus students involved. It shifted to be more high school for some reason, but there used to be more faculty and staff. Like, you took the day off and everybody went.
So it usually happens in March, and
there's no way. For us to take that on?
Yeah, no, I'm not at this time, I have concerns about the Commission's capacity to plan and execute a full full-scale Human Rights Day event by March of 2026. International Human Rights Day is actually coming up. It's around the corner. Not that I'm suggesting we do it right, and then even a shorter amount of time, but it's in December, and I was like, well, it could still happen next year. It just wouldn't be until December of next year if we did want to take this on. We don't have to do well, and we don't have to do
the same way.
Yeah. It's an opportunity to try new things. If we decide that Human Relations Commission is going to be the new owner of Human Rights Day, not that we, but the project manager, if you will. one thing that we have said as a commission is we want more youth-oriented
Yes,
programming,
yes.
and this is an opportunity to potentially do that. They do high school. There is a committee. One thing, and Jessica was very, on it, is like, there's a committee, but you end up doing most of the work. Like,
Did she do most of the work?
yes, she found most of the speaker. I mean, people.
She could guide us.
Yeah, she still will. Yes, and she said that ISU could still be the location of it,
Okay.
but it just can't.
Really?
Yes, that we could have it there. So we haven't been. I know. I guess I don't know. We could have
They
it
can
there.
say we're not doing it.
But it's exactly.
That's all.
That's
I know
nice of
it.
them to offer them.
I know. But I'm also like, no, I'm just kidding. But we don't have to do it there. One comment I always have every year is it's really cold in that building, and which is kind of a bummer. But it's also really expensive. We would have to pay for it.
That's why.
So no, yeah, that we can have it there, but we will have to pay for the Sycamore banquet room. The DD rooms, I think, are free. Maybe.
I think if you're an outside org, you still pay for them, but if you have an internal host who books it.
Oh, then I don't know. Then maybe not. The Sisters of Providence have been, not necessarily St. Mary of the Woods College, but the Sisters of Providence have always been.
Social justice.
They're a great partner.
They're always on the committee. And I think that there's an opportunity there. We could do. I love Sister Emily. Yes.
That's the way to do it.
We could go ride horses too. I'm just kidding.
Breakout session.
No, we could like the retreat. Have to learn how to guide a horse. I think we don't have to decide today, but I would like to. I would really like ISU to send this out to the committee and be like, hey, we're not doing it anymore, but the Human Relations Commission or we'll take it on, or I can send that. I mean, it doesn't matter, but.
I would say, are you responsible for maintaining the same name and saying we're absorbing it, or do you have the autonomy to say this is ending, the city is creating something new? Do you know what I mean? As far as a distinctive city, the difference in the program. Type, or is it they want the same?
No. I think that's fair. I think that good question. I'm like, because what I'm thinking is the Human Relations Commission is committed to maintaining a Human Rights Day.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have to be that version.
Yeah, because it does take a lot. It's a lot of money.
No, that was the other thing I asked her, and it's we would have to start fundraising tomorrow. It's more than $10,000.
And with keynotes, breakout sessions, moderators,
we're not doing
volunteers, food for everyone.
Unless you guys told me I had to.
The sisters did a dinner the night before with everybody. That's a lot. And so I can.
I know. I'm like,
I believe in your capacity and the commission's capacity to create something distinctively awesome.
I know. I'm like, we're gonna have one speaker. I'm just kidding. No, but I mean, I think that there is something about. Does it have to be, breakout sessions?
Right.
And the other thing is 3 to 4. Well, the other thing I'm going to say, and this is on the record, is that, I don't think the other thing that would happen if ISU was still involved. I mean, if they were still going to do it, the Pride Center is probably not going to be on their their list of invitees to do a breakout session, which they have historically always done. Another group that has historically always been on the dock is the ACLU, and they're currently in litigation. So like it would
Be
be
a little
fundamentally different. It would
It's
be
like an
different.
uncomfortable family reunion.
Yeah. And yeah, I'm like also like, do I want to have it ISU and be like, hey, Pride Center, you guys feel comfortable coming to this
We would be
place?
comfortable. I'm happy
Okay,
to do
good.
whatever.
Okay,
but,
okay.
But
also, I mean, like something. to
does
think
that? Yeah, I can see how that would also.
But would ISU say, never mind,
Yeah.
at the last minute, you're no longer can have your
Right,
event
because
here?
what are the
I don't know.
expectations for your
I don't know.
program, and what are the potential limitations that you
I
might
don't
face because it's hosted at an institution that's also facing really interesting pressure on the types of discussions or content that's available.
So, doesn't have to be December. It certainly should not be March.
Well, willing to help plan, because I helped do the Drop of Lavender conference at ISU, and it did come together pretty nicely. So I think it is possible. I think you have good speakers, and I think there's ways to do it that aren't going to cost $1 bajillion either. Especially if you start out homegrown your first year, and that's why I'm thinking about the autonomy, because
Right.
if the expectation is you absorb the program as is, that's too
much.
it's too much.
They spent
That's what I asked.
so
We
much
take it
money
over
on
our
food.
Yeah, I would say like make it a distinctly separate, maybe even different name. Like if it's just a clean. This is a new.
So you don't think it should be called Human
Oh, I don't
Rights
know.
Day?
I don't know what we want
It
to.
could be human rights.
Something, but just a.
Yeah, I was like,
Right.
But just a clean, like this is a separate.
yeah.
Program.
Maybe it's human rights all day.
Every day.
Every
Yeah.
day. Human rights everyday celebration.
Yes, human rights.
That's the new name. I'm just kidding. I'm being
And we
silly.
could, the other thing I was always trying, not always, but like the last couple years, I was trying to encourage like Jessica. I was like, let's try like a theme or something. And we kind of did last year with like everyday human rights was the theme. And so Brandon came and talked about like, what does human rights look like at a local level? And then we had like groups that were talking about local kind of or individual, like what does it look like? It doesn't have to be like ending genocide. Like you can be an advocate for human rights in your own community. Yeah, like anti-human trafficking, and like disability rights, things like that. It was it was good.
Active coalitions that exist with the homeless coalition and the work that's happening right now in town.
Yeah,
I
I
think
saw
it'd be
someone
very
did a
impactful.
presentation at ISU, and I was like, oh, that's a good idea. Anyway, how do you all feel?
I'm in favor of having a Human Rights Day, but I agree with Katie. I think this should be our own event.
And it should not be March.
Yes.
Give us time to plan. So the December idea is not a bad idea, but you're running up against so much of the holidays and
December,
it's such a hard.
I think December would be difficult.
So maybe they skip a year.
Oh,
What'd you say?
Maybe we skip a year.
okay.
There's a
You're
transition.
not
Sorry,
responsible
I
for
see
saving a
vows
program
out.
that someone else cancels.
That
Also.
could be
Yeah.
an item on our strategic plan.
Yeah.
ISU bows out, we step in.
And we step in
Did you notice
for the
ISU
next
bowed out
year.
doing this? So we decided to pick it up.
Yeah,
2027.
I know, and it is. It's like, I cannot. I'm like, how do I explain? Like, I'm really sorry that it's not happening in 20. And I'm like,
It's
I
not your
should
fault.
exactly. I know.
ISU decided, and so we, our commission's gonna take it up. We'll be back.
It's
in
not because
2027.
you are one
It'll be
person.
different. It'll give us a year
Mhm.
separation from them.
Find partners.
Mhm.
Funding.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
December's just too hard.
December's very difficult.
It's cold in so many different
Yeah, is there like another day you could attach it to?
Most.
Yeah, December's hard. I know that. I was just like, oh, well, then it could still be next year. Having all until December.
But it could still be in March in 2027.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's what I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let them be embarrassed to have to say, we're not doing it this year.
Mhm.
And then we can be the
Then
heroes saying,
that cools it off.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
then here we come.
And heroes.
Fresh and
Right.
new, yes.
serious.
Yeah, because that's also a very large.
I know.
It's a very large expectation to ask of you to say, here, can you please take this?
I don't think she didn't.
didn't.
I asked about its status, and then we talked, and I kind of had gotten word that they were going to maybe rebrand it, and I was like, okay, let's see. And then it got changed too. And then I said, I don't want to see this program go away. Would you be open to like releasing your, like, you're not going to sue us for copyright infringement if we like start doing it on our own? And they were like, no, absolutely. Like, we don't. I mean, she feels, I mean, it was a program she did for so long.
Yeah.
Like, she wants to see student. Yeah. So it's whatever. Anyway.
Yeah, and she did a really good job running the program
Yeah.
over the years, and their office did a good job. So
It's just
very
unfortunate
unfortunate.
that is, again, it's like there is a,
I'm tired
Scary.
of this
literally, if you don't know that reference, the movie Holes.
grandpa.
I'm
tired
tired
of
of
this grandpa. Keep digging.
that is how it is.
You can write that in a minute.
The last thing is end of year purchases. So if you come back to your two things that we've got 32,000. Woo! That would be
Spread it out, roll around.
$3,200 in that fund. But actually, so take off, what did I say? 800 for the banners. And then we talked about a $500 for the, the thing is we don't have to use this for promotional items because I have a different idea. If you go to your other statement of activities, there's a printing line. And since we will have these things printed, that is a line that we have been told we can use. And we can transfer that $1,975 from services contractual that we will not use into printing. And we could then have about $2,500 to get promotional items.
Yeah, that's great.
That's smart.
If you feel comfortable giving me that budget to spend,
Yes.
to
I
spend,
can't vote on that, but I think that's great.
Yes, that's a
Okay.
great idea.
I can, if you read in here, we're totally out of hand sanitizer. We had bought magnets and keychains, which were super popular, but we're out of. Pens were popular. We still have some. Pencils were not popular. So we will not rebuy pencils, but we don't have a ton left. Notepads were popular. They just have the old logo on them. So if we did want it, we could do more, or we could do something else. The other thing we've talked about as a group is getting you all a t-shirt or a polo. I'll send something. If we'd like to do that, I know that we bought t-shirts for the city for the brand launch. It just has a big City of Terre Haute logo on a white t-shirt. We got 50 of them for like $490. Obviously there's not 50 of us, but that kind of gives you an idea. You have to buy like a minimum to get a somewhat reasonable cost. But we could buy a few extra sizes in case we had, new commissioners come in at some point, new advisory members or whatever. I could also use some of that, like $500 of that to buy a t-shirt, or would you prefer something else? Not a t-shirt, a polo.
I think both sound great.
A white t-shirt with the logo.
Yeah.
That would be appropriate for a lot of the events.
And then you have this.
Yeah, put on there.
Yeah.
There you go.
If we're going to, sure. That's fine.
Okay.
Okay,
So then-
can I get a motion then? Do I need a motion for this to move that money or just
Not necessarily move it, but to give me a budget of
$2,500?
Yeah, it's about how much it would be. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll get quotes. I've now got all of them. They're all bugging me. Oh, do you need any stuff made? Do you need any? Midwest, Tabco, Graphic FX, and City Press also just got to me. So I will just go with the lowest quote on all of the items.
$26.39.30. So, get a motion?
So,
Second.
All those in favor, 2639 budget for promotional items. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
What was the total now?
$2,639. I'll keep it.
Yeah, that printing always ends up being.
We won't have that. We won't have that next. But if we can buy, we maybe won't have to buy much next year.
Yeah.
And then that does leave quite a bit left in civic promotions. If we would like to, I don't know how you all feel about maybe doing. We don't have to do it out of this year's, but maybe doing some other banners like the Pride Month banners. We don't have to make the decision at this meeting on those.
Yeah, we should have more commissioners here.
Yeah, that's okay.
what the options.
Yeah, maybe you and I can talk about like a draft of like
Yeah.
what that could
What
look
it looks
like.
I can, do you want me to make some?
Like
You
a
can-
draft, like
on
a
Canva or
mock-up.
something?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll set myself
Yeah,
up.
and I'll throw my hat in the ring for National Recovery Line.
Ooh.
Okay.
This November, since Terre Haute is becoming such a recovery hub.
Yeah.
Maybe we have some
Yeah.
banners.
I think like our intention, like, is to think of other way, and it doesn't have to be banners, but to celebrate other heritage and cultural celebrations in our community. The thing about this is I want to be, and if anyone has like, well, why not Asian American Month?
Right.
Like, why don't we have the same banner program?
Yeah.
I am hesitant to make that decision for that community.
Yeah.
So like if someone from
Them says.
says, I want this program, I will do it in a heartbeat. Like we will figure it out. But I just don't feel comfortable making that decision. And like, does it then? Yeah. Cause like if the community is small and it's like, well, are we like, I don't know, tokenizing or anything? It doesn't feel weird. My goal is to not make anyone feel that
Yeah.
way.
My theme for today.
Yeah,
We don't want it
yeah.
to be weird.
Yeah. I want to be intentional. So,
Saying in the recovery community, which is nothing about us without us.
yes.
A lot of people, normies want to tell recovery, right, people in recovery.
Yeah.
They're like, no, we get to, we, nothing about us without us.
Mhm.
Or at least having a voice at the table, and that's.
Do you all have any statements? Our audience.
Nothing that can go on the record.
Ghosts.
Okay, then I'll turn this off as soon as we adjourn.
Okay, can we get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second,
Second.
all those in favor, adjourn the meeting at
Sorry.
6:31. Next meeting,